Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We have a new scorpion these days. After we have silenced many Ash'aris in English, like those people of Bradford in UK, and Omar al-Hashimi, who had been showing silence. No more. First, he ran away from inviting him for debate. Then he kept silent with the questions I addressed to him. Nothing. Alhamdulillah. Now we have a new scorpion, new hyena. That's the first time I see him. He's tackling the Salafi way. Let's hear his claims and we're going to refute them. Go ahead.
What's the best way of explaining Salafiyah to someone who doesn't know about that sheikhs they listen to or with this group? Salafiyah is a fifth madhab.
That's a lie. If you know what is the Salafi way, you would have never been making that lie. The Salafi way is the way of all the Muslims. We take the Prophet and his companions, a model, example to follow in all. The Prophet said to his daughter Fatima, "O Fatima, fear Allah, for I am the best Salaf for you." So it's not a madhab selected by certain cult. That's a lie. Subhanallah, from the first word you uttered, you're making a lie or showing that you are extremely ignorant about the meaning of the word Salaf. Salaf are those who have preceded you, the ancestors. The ancestors, okay? The Prophet Muhammad and his companions. And it is not a matter of option whether you follow or not. If you say the way of the Prophet and his companions is not my Salaf, you're not Muslim. So he's claiming that the Salafi way is the fifth madhab beside the four madhabs, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali, Hanafi. What an ignorant. The Salafi way is taking the whole deen from the Salaf, not only the matters of fiqh, the secondary issue, but fiqh and aqeedah as well. While those four madhabs are limited to the matters of ahkam, fiqh, jurisprudence, such as how to pray, how to fast, hajj, etc., etc. So from the first moment you uttered the word, you have showed your ignorance and lie, or lie. Continue.
But we will not accept its usul.
Oh, we will not be accepting its usul. What is their usul? The book and the sunnah. Are you Sunni or you're Shia? Subhanallah. See, first word, يعني mere lie. Now, mere ignorance. And I said it, and I repeat it, and I challenge you, when you disagree with me, to meet with me directly. Okay? I invite you for StreamYard. I'll open a room and give you the link and invite you to come. And let's debate about that. But I'm afraid you will be following the way of those who preceded you. Your Salaf, Omar al-Hashmi, and those people of Bradford. Continue.
Right. We won't accept a fifth madhab. We don't need a fifth madhab. But
Ya Jahil, or ignorant. The Salaf, they don't say that we have a way out of the book and the sunnah. How dare you say we don't accept their usul? Show me academically, intellectually, that their roots and the basis of their madhab is out of the book and the sunnah. Either you're jahil, putting amama, or I don't know what to say. Wallahi, I don't know what to say. Every day we have new scorpion that is being used to bite. Agenda. Continue agenda.
It is a madhab, right? But one of the problems with it, it does not have one founding imam, and hence many of its usul and furu' become fluid. That's the problem.
Saying that they have no one imam. Do you have one imam for yourself as well? I mean, you're either Ash'ari or Maturidi. Your imam, if you're Ash'ari, repented and became Hanbali, following Imam Ahmed in the matter of Aqidah. Your imam, he came to us, and you're still using his name to establish your madhab and to maintain it, lest it collapse, which is already collapsed. Since they are taking the Prophet as their, yes, our imam is not one. Those are our imams. But tell me about your imams. Ghazali, who repented, and he criticized Ilm al-Kalam. Juwayni, who repented. Al-Razi, who repented. Al-Baqillani, who repented. Al-Ghazali said, As-Salaf is the only way. And every way, every statement, every doctrine, everything that disagree with the Salaf should be rejected totally. In his book, Al-Jam al-Awam, An Ilm al-Kalam, he wrote it 14 days before he died, prohibiting people from following Ilm al-Kalam, the philosophy in religion. And any way other than the way of the Salaf is a matter of bid'ah. Look at it in front of you. To commit themselves, confine themselves to the way of the Salaf. And that's what he said. And I'm putting now the document in front of you. Continue.
Very fluid. You think that it's, Quran and Sunnah is one thing. But when you look at their actual opinions, they're very all over the place. In Aqidah, all over the place. There was a brother who made a compilation of the different fatwa in Aqidah, let alone fiqh. So what is better for a person is to take a method that has a founder, that has...
You know what's the evidence? A brother made an essay or a video showing the differences in their fatwa. What a great evidence is this. What a great evidence. A brother. So that's all. He finished it. No need for yourself to show documents. No need. A brother. Who's that brother? A brother. A brother. Right? Since I have nice amama, and I have good English accent, and I have a nice glasses, then you have to accept what I say to you, and there's no need for you to ask me about my evidence. No. Don't I look good to you? I have a nice camera, and look at the greens behind me. So no need for yourself to get an evidence from me. Khalas. Stop it. Cut it out. I'm telling you, somebody, anybody, collected evidences that they have different fatwas. By the way, there is no differences in Aqidah between the Salafis. No. Let's say there are some little. If they are counted, that means they're not a lot. If you can count them, 2, 3. They have differences, yes, in political issues, such as should we be advising the leader publicly or secretly, and this case caused division between the Salafis. Those who said it has to be given secretly, they count on 1 weak hadith. It's not authentic. Compare this to the differences between Maturidis and Ash'aris. Oh my God. One of the differences is that the Maturidis, the Hanafis, say that the Ash'aris are doubtful in their Lord, shakkakeen. We should not be praying behind them. And we can marry their daughters, but their sons cannot marry our daughters, giving them the same rate, level of Ahlul Kitab, people of the book. Yani, the Hanafis say to you, as we Muslims can marry Christian woman or a Jewish woman, their Jewish and Christian men cannot marry from our women. Likewise are the Ash'aris. They cannot marry from us. Why they do not pray behind the Ash'aris? They say that the Ash'aris say, I am mu'min believer, insha'Allah. So they said, they're doubtful if they are believers or not. So that means they are sure that they have doubt in Allah. So we don't pray behind them. That's the first thing they disagreed about. Or not the first thing. The first thing about the existence of Allah. Is it the same soul or something additional than the soul? That have been mentioned in the book at Hafiz Sad al-Muttaqeen, 2nd volume, page 95. You just write things down and check if I'm lying or not. As for books written about the differences between the Ash'aris and the Maturidis, oh my God, a lot. Number 1, قرة العين في جمع البين for السبكي. It Hafiz Sad al-Muttaqeen in this book also, which is the explanation of the book إحياء علوم الدين for Al-Ghazali. العقد الجوهري بين الماتريدي والأشعري, written by Khalid al-Naqshbandi. رسالة في الفرق بين الأشاعرة والماتريدية, written by عمر الفاروقي. رسالة في الفرق بين مذهب الأشاعرة والماتريدية للشيخ يحيى علي نصوح. الدرر المضيئة فيما وقع فيه الخلاف للإمام الجويري. نظم الفرائد وجمع الفوائد في المسائل المختلف عليها بين الأشاعرة والماتريدية, علي بن عبد الرحيم زادة. الروضة الباهية فيما بين الأشاعرة والماتريدية لابن عذبة. إشارات المرام للبياضي. رسالة في الفرق بين الأشعري وبين الماتريدي لأحمد بن الحسين عبد الكريم الجوهري. خلافيات الحكماء مع المتكلمين. يلا المتخلفين also. Backwarded. There's still a lot of books that mentioned the differences between the Ash'aris and the Maturidis. The Maturidi does not make differences between the self-attributes and the active attributes of Allah. They're all qadim, ancient attributes to Allah. And look what they believe. If you say that among the attributes of Allah is something that has huduth, which means if Allah created me in a particular time, that's haram, because Allah does things but eternally, which is false. That means I'm becoming also eternal because He created me without a time. This is the stupid belief of the Ash'aris that Allah is not subject to time or to place. This is philosophy. So if you believe that Allah does things in a particular time apart from another time, it will lead to the concept that you are worshipping someone other than Allah. Oh my God. And that means Allah is Himself hadith, which is shirk. That means if you say that Allah creates in a time apart from another, He's also created. It Hafiz Sad al-Muttaqeen, 2nd volume, page 158. And that's why Ibn Hajar al-Haytami, he said, the sifatul af'al, the attributes of activity of Allah, haditha and al-Ash'ara, but it's eternal according to the Maturidis. So there's a big difference. If the differences mean something to you that you should be rejecting the cult, then you should be rejecting to be Diyubandi, Hanafi, or Ash'ari, based on the rule you mentioned. The Maturidis believe that Allah does something by wisdom, for a reason, by wisdom. The Ash'ari say, oh, this means that Allah needs to do the thing. So they rejected something called hikmah. Maturidis said that the aql, the mind, can signify between the evil things and the good things. The Ash'ari disagreed with them, saying that the evil and the good can be known, verified by the law of Allah, not necessarily by the mind. The Maturidis do not agree that Iman, faith, can be increasing and decreasing, while the Ash'aris, they believe the opposite. Maturidis believe that Iman is not created, but the Ash'aris disagreed with them and said that Iman, faith, is created. One of the Hanafi scholars, Al-Kardari, he said, whoever said that Iman is created, we should not perform prayer behind him. And they all agreed that he is kafir. Nazm al-Fara'id, page 43, Ithaf al-Sada Muttaqeen, volume 2, page 283. And so on. The Ash'aris believe that Allah spoke to Musa. But the Maturidis say, Musa did not hear, but he understood, because they want to maintain that Allah doesn't speak and Allah has no voice. Now that's in the past. Currently now, they both insist that Allah should not be speaking, that Allah has no voice. The words of Allah are not letters or language. Maturidis disagreed with Ash'aris. Does the ability, the power of the servant, it's impactive in itself? Maturidis said yes. The Ash'aris said no. And that's why the Ash'aris today, they are Jabris. They believe that the person is forced to do what he does by the compelling will of Allah. Al-Bazdawi, the Hanafi scholar, he said that this is the worst ever among the disagreeing matters between the Hanafis, Maturidis, and the Ash'aris. Shall I bring you more? I have a lot. I just brought maybe 10 issues. And I still have something like 40. So it would be better that you shut your mouth and don't speak without knowledge. Because now we can silence you. If you keep speaking, because now we can silence you when you insist to keep speaking. That's my way, I can do it. Let's continue.
As a crisp usul, these are the usul. Of course, later scholars within the madhab have added and subtracted, but at least we have tracks. And we know who the imams of the madhab are and what are the mu'tamad books. Salafiyah, and that's one thing I
That's not true. That is not true. Because you're acknowledging by yourself that there is differences in the ummah. And the ummah is divided into 4 madhabs. And not only this, Al-Shafi'i has old madhab, new madhab. Al-Shafi'is have hundreds of books which disagree with Shafi'i himself. So now if you say, this matter is a Shafi'i matter, it doesn't mean necessarily that Shafi'i himself issued it. No, because they use the term Shafi'iyya scholars. So the Shafi'i madhab is becoming like a cluster bomb, or multiple nuclear warhead bomb. Has many heads, and they all blow up. It's one bomb that contains in itself thousands of bombs. That's what happened to the madhahib today. So don't say that their track is one. That's not true.
I guess I sort of regret about, in the debate, I listed Wahhabis, right? Remember that debate that we did? And I said all these groups, and I listed all the groups, and I put Wahhabis at the bottom. What I should have put is Salafis, because in a sense, it's a whole nother madhab. And I don't think Salafi is in line with most of the madhahib, the four madhabs. Of all, their fiqh will be Hanbali.
Well, this is a confession that the Salafis follow a fiqh madhab Hanbali. So what, subhanallah, that exposes what you said from the beginning, that they don't follow the four madhabs. They have fifth madhab. Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab was Hanbali, by the way. Ibn Taymiyyah basically was Hanafi. But when it comes to the matter of hadith, if the hadith apparently disagree with the madhab and it's authentic, then they will be, in this particular matter, they will be getting out of the madhab, because the hadith of Rasulullah which opposes it is very clear, authentic. For example, Al-Shafi'i says, if a man touches any woman, including his wife, and he has wudu, his wudu will be broken. Okay? So, most of the Salafis, if not all of them, they disagreed with this. Because it's authentically narrated that the Prophet ﷺ, according to At-Tirmidhi, he used to be taking wudu, then kiss his wife, then he goes to the masjid. This is one example. The Hanafi madhab, they allow a woman to marry without the consent of her wali, father. The Prophet ﷺ said, "La nikah illa bi wali." There is no nikah considered except by a wali, a sponsor, a father. This is an example. I don't want to, extend the topic. So alhamdulillah, you said that the Salafis are following Hanbali madhab. Thank you very much. You contradicted yourself. Let's continue. So basically, he wants to tell you that if the Salafis differ, this is a sign that they are wrong and their cult is false. Let me remind you of this. That the differ, as I mentioned at the beginning, the differ is not doctrinal. No. The differ is political. For example, do we advise the leader publicly, or we take him and advise him secretly? That caused a big, major disagreement between the Salafis. I agree. But it's a political issue. So that makes them cults. Then, checkmate. You have to say that the Sahaba, the companions of Rasulullah, became into many cults because they were fighting one another, and the disagreement was political. While their God is one, their book is one, their prophet is one, Their way of doctrine is one. So this is a similar example to what the Salafis disagreed about. It's not about Aqidah. No. Let's continue.
Aligned with Hanbali and Shafi'i fiqh, probably most. But in Aqidah, Hanabila, mostly along the Hanbali line. And
Ya Jahil, oh ignorant. Don't you know that when Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari repented from being Mu'tazila, he became Hanbali? What an ignorant. According to As-Subki, he is Shafi'i Ash'ari, and he has the book Tabaqat al-Shafi'iyah. It's about 6 volumes. It has the biography of all the Shafi'i people. When he mentioned Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari, the establisher of the Ash'ari madhab, he said, when Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari repented, he followed the way of Ahmed ibn Hanbal, saying, عقيدتي هي عقيدة الإمام المبجل أحمد ibn Hanbal. My doctrine is the doctrine of the respected, eminent Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal. Hello. So your Imam, upon whom you're taking the title of your doctrine, your cult from, he became Hanbali, following the Hanbali Aqidah. Do you follow the Hanbali Aqidah? No. Do you follow the Ash'ari in this? No. You don't. What an ignorant. I'm showing from the book of an Ash'ari scholar, not only him, even Ibn Asakir, the writer of Tarikh Dimashq, which is about 52 volumes. Ibn Asakir also, he said the same thing, that he is proud of being follower of Ahmed ibn Hanbal in Aqidah, because he is the Imam whom Allah deployed him to support and prove the Sunnah, the right way of doctrine. Where are you from that, Mr. Ignorant? Let's continue.
and they will part from them. They will part from them. Sheikh Yusuf ibn Sadiq and Dr. Sheikh Hatim al-Hajj, he says the Salafiyah are not Hanabila in Aqidah. They are their own Aqidah.
Well, prove it. Prove it. Don't only speak, prove it. Let a challenge of debate be between me and you, proving that the Salafis are not Hanbalis in Aqidah. Okay. Is that what you say? Are you criticizing them for that? Just be yourself Hanbali in Aqidah, as your Imam Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari became Hanbali in Aqidah. Forget about those Salafis. You yourself, I challenge you to say that since my Imam Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari became Hanbali in Aqidah, I am Hanbali in Aqidah. You won't dare to say it. You're not going to say it. I know you guys. I know you very well. I invite you for debate. Didn't you talk about debates? Come. I'm ready.
They are not Hanabila at all. He said, do not bundle them. So what I'm saying is they may resemble the Hanabila the most. They may cite them the most. They may be mixed with them the most, associated with them the most. But Dr. Hatim al-Hajj, we're going to go by him, right? And Sheikh Yusuf bin Sadiq. And they both say the Hanabila is one track, the Salafi is another track. So
you only follow Hatim al-Hajj in what he said. Why, is he prophet? Or Yusuf bin Sadiq? I don't know those guys. Ibn Asakir also, he said the same thing, that he is proud of being follower of Ahmed ibn Hanbal in Aqidah, because he is the Imam whom Allah deployed him to support and prove the Sunnah, the right way of doctrine. Where are you from that, Mr. Ignorant? Let's continue. And by the way, Ibn Asakir is one of the biggest Ash'ari who are the closest after Abu Bakr ibn Fawraq to Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari. He knows best about him. Confessing in his book, as you see, that Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari, when he repented, he followed the way of Ahmed ibn Hanbal, in which the Ash'aris today are ashamed of referring themselves to Ahmed ibn Hanbal because they follow ilm al-kalam, which Imam Ahmed criticized, describing people of ilm al-kalam that they are heretics, zanadiqa. So I dare you, Mr. Speaker, to say that we follow Imam Ahmed. You won't say it because your doctrine opposes the doctrine of Imam Ahmed 100%. In Volume 1, page 95, as you see it documented. You see, if we want to criticize someone, we don't say someone said about him, but we show proofs. But you don't. Which makes me believing that you are one of the agendas. You're starting now, you're gonna vanish as the others vanished after I debated them and exposed them.